You ever notice how life has a way of whispering the truth, even when we pretend we don't hear it? Because karma isn't some mystical force floating in the clouds. Karma is the echo of every choice we make. And whether we want to believe it or not, it's speaking. Loudly, clearly, relentlessly. You ever wonder why some people rise even when everything around them seems stacked against them? It's because karma doesn't measure them by what the world sees. It measures them by what their heart intends. You can grind, you can hustle, you can push forward with everything you've got. But if the intention behind your actions is dirty, the outcome will eventually reflect that. On the flip side, someone can move slowly, quietly, almost unnoticed, yet their intentions are so pure, so aligned, that life eventually bends in their favor. Intention is the blueprint, action is the construction. But karma is the inspector that sees the truth behind every brick you lay. People judge you based on what they see. Your job, your failures, your missteps. Society is obsessed with immediate results, quick wins, external proof. But karma doesn't care about applause or validation. Karma sees the reasoning behind your choices, the honesty in your effort, and the sincerity in your direction. You may look like you're behind, you may appear delayed, but if your intention is rooted in truth, the universe is already reshaping your path. You don't need the world's approval, you need alignment. And alignment always gets rewarded. There are moments when you're putting in the work and nothing seems to be shifting. You're pouring your soul into something and progress is barely visible. That's where many quit. But that's exactly where karma begins its quiet work. It observes the patience you hold, the faith you maintain, the integrity you don't abandon when nobody is watching. The world might overlook you, but karma never misses a detail. Your slow season isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the space where intention gets tested, refined, strengthened, and then there are people who seem to win by manipulation, shortcuts, deceit. They rise fast, but they rise hollow, because intention sets the foundation. And if that foundation is cracked, everything built on top eventually collapses. Karma isn't about instant justice, it's about inevitable truth. It reveals who built their life with authenticity and who built theirs with illusion. You don't have to worry about exposing anyone. Life handles that on its own timeline. When your intentions are right, your setbacks don't break you, they build you. Every disappointment becomes direction. Every obstacle becomes training. The universe refuses to let someone with pure intention lose in the long run. Your results may take time, but they will come with a strength and stability that shortcuts could never give you. People may misunderstand your journey, but karma understands your purpose. So if you're wondering whether the effort is worth it, whether the struggle is leading anywhere, whether the silence means you're forgotten, remember this: karma isn't based on where you are right now. It's based on who you're becoming. And when your intention is aligned with truth, even the slowest progress is still progress toward a destiny that cannot miss you. You ever notice how life has a way of circling back what you put into it, almost like it's keeping score when you think no one's paying attention? That's the thing about karma. It's not emotional, it's not petty, it's not here to punish or favor anybody. It simply reflects. It mirrors your energy, your choices, your patterns. Every action you take is like dropping a pebble in water. The ripples don't vanish just because you walk away. They return. They always return. And sometimes they come back as blessings, sometimes as lessons, but always as a direct response to what you sent out in the first place. When you give kindness, not the performative kind, but real kindness, rooted, intentional, genuine, it comes back to you in ways you don't expect. Maybe not in the same moment, maybe not from the same people, but it returns through peace, through opportunities, through relationships that nourish instead of drain. The same law applies to effort. You put in consistent, honest work, and karma eventually delivers growth. Not the instant gratification kind, but the kind that builds character, resilience, inner strength. Because karma's currency isn't just external reward, it's internal transformation. It gives you the version of yourself you earned. But when you move with manipulation, with selfishness, with shortcuts, karma answers with equal energy. People often mistake delayed consequences for escape, but nothing escapes the energy it carries. You deceive someone, and life sends you situations where you're surrounded by uncertainty. You disrespect someone, and life puts you in spaces where your voice isn't valued. You take advantage of others, and you end up in seasons where you have to fight twice as hard to regain what you lost. Karma isn't personal, it's precise. It doesn't send back what you wish for, it sends back what you spent. There's a reason people who operate with purity of heart sleep better at night. They're not perfect, but they're honest. And there's a reason people who thrive off negativity are constantly paranoid, always watching their back. They're aware of the energy they've put into the world, and they know it's only a matter of time before it circles back. Karma teaches accountability, not through punishment, but through reflection. You learn very quickly what actions elevate your life and which ones poison it. And the truth is, karma doesn't just respond to actions, it responds to patterns. You can apologize with your mouth, but your behavior is the signature that karma reads. You can claim innocence, but your energy reveals your truth. Karma adapts to who you repeatedly choose to be. That's what makes it fair. That's what makes it unavoidable. It's not about one moment, it's about your rhythm, your habits, your consistency. The life you live now is a collection of the energies you've invested over time. Once you truly understand that karma pays back in the currency you spent, you start moving differently. You start becoming intentional with your words, mindful with your choices, responsible with your energy. You realize every interaction is an investment, every decision is a signature, every action is a seed. And even if no one sees what you plant, life will. Karma watches the garden you're growing. And one day, whether you expected it or not, you will stand in the harvest of everything you've given. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart at once. Relationships you trusted crumble. Opportunities you counted on slip away. Situations you thought were stable suddenly collapse beneath you. In those moments, it's easy to believe you're being punished or abandoned. But karma doesn't just reveal what you need to receive, it also reveals what you need to release. Sometimes the things you cling to the hardest are the very things standing in the way of your growth. When something falls apart, it's not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it's karma clearing the road, removing what can't go with you into the next chapter you're destined for. You may not recognize it in the moment, but karma is constantly working behind the scenes. It sees conversations you didn't hear, intentions you didn't catch, motives you weren't aware of. It sees what's happening when your back is turned. It sees the danger you didn't spot, the betrayal you didn't suspect, the chaos you didn't choose. And instead of letting it hit you full force, karma sometimes strips it away before it has the chance to destroy you. That loss you cried over, that rejection that broke you, sometimes that was karma intercepting a disaster. Protection doesn't always feel gentle, but it is always purposeful. There are people you wanted to keep in your life because you loved them, trusted them, or believed in their potential. Yet they walked away, they faded, betrayed you, distanced themselves, or simply stopped showing up. It hurt. But what you didn't see were the versions of them that karma saw. Versions that would have drained you, delayed you, or derailed your growth. Karma knew their future chapters and knew they didn't belong in yours. When someone leaves your life suddenly or dramatically, it's not always abandonment. Sometimes it's karmic alignment, removing what your spirit outgrew before your mind caught up. Even opportunities that slip through your fingers can be protection in disguise. You might think you missed your shot, that you weren't good enough, that life passed you by. But karma doesn't withhold what you're meant to have. If something doesn't work out, it's often because it wasn't designed for where you're going. It might have limited you, boxed you in, or consumed your peace. Karma blocks certain doors not because you are incapable, but because it knows there's a better door ahead, one that matches your evolution, not your past. And then there are setbacks that redirect your entire journey. You might lose a job, miss an opportunity, or experience a failure that shakes your foundation. But karma isn't just removing the wrong things, it's positioning you for the right things. That detour that frustrated you might be steering you toward a path you never would have found on your own. Karma redirects with intention. What feels like a delay is often a reroute towards something more aligned with your purpose, your growth, and your long-term peace. So when life removes something, someone, or some opportunity, it's not always loss. It might be protection. The universe always hears conversations you weren't a part of, sees intentions you weren't aware of, and understands outcomes you can't yet see. Karma blocks doors that lead to destruction just as powerfully as it opens doors that lead to destiny. And when you start to trust that, the fear of losing things becomes much smaller than the faith in what's coming next. There's a strange kind of silence in the way karma works. It doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't react on impulse. Karma moves with intention, with accuracy, with timing that makes sense only when you look back. In a world where everyone expects instant results and immediate justice, karma operates on a higher rhythm. It waits until the moment is right, until the lesson can be understood, until the truth can't be denied, until the impact will actually change something in you or around you. Karma doesn't forget. It remembers every seed you planted, every choice you made, every path you walked, but it waits for the soil of your life to be ready before anything grows. People often think they've escaped the consequences of their actions just because life didn't respond right away. But karma isn't late, it's deliberate. It knows that rushing a lesson before you're capable of understanding, it won't do anything but waste the pain. And karma doesn't waste anything. It lets the truth take root. It lets the patterns become clear. It lets the mask fall off naturally. Justice doesn't need to be loud to be effective. It doesn't need to be dramatic to be real. Karma unveils things exactly when the unveiling will matter most, when it can be argued with, ignored, or rewritten. The same applies to blessings. People often wonder why their breakthrough hasn't arrived yet, why their effort hasn't paid off, why their prayers feel unanswered. But karma doesn't rush blessings either. It won't give you something you're not stable enough to hold. It won't elevate you into a space where your character isn't strong enough to keep you. Karma doesn't want you to have temporary success, it wants you to have sustainable success. And sustainable success requires timing, growth, readiness. A blessing given too early becomes a burden. Karma waits to bless you when you're prepared to rise, not collapse. There are seasons when you watch people who've wronged you continue winning, continue climbing, continue shining. And it's confusing, it's frustrating, it feels unfair. But what you forget is that karma isn't a competition, it's a cycle. Those people aren't getting away with anything, they're simply experiencing their chapter of momentum. Karma doesn't interrupt someone's rise. It aligns their fall with the exact moment it will teach the greatest lesson. Karma is never rushed by your emotions or pressured by your pain. It responds in the moment that creates growth, clarity, or accountability, not just drama. And then there's the timing of truth. Karma reveals character not when you want it to be revealed, but when the protection of that revelation is needed. You might want the truth to surface immediately, but karma understands that exposure without purpose is just chaos. It waits, it watches, it allows the story to unfold until the consequences can't be escaped. And when the truth arrives, it arrives with a clarity that cuts through every excuse. Karma exposes, not to embarrass, but to correct. Not to shame, but to shift. The timing is never random, it's strategic. Karma's patience is its power. The fact that it doesn't rush is the reason its results are undeniable. When karma moves, it moves in a way that leaves no questions, no confusion, no contradiction. It moves in a way that aligns your life with the energy you've invested and the choices you've made. And because it never forgets, never loses track, never gets distracted, its timing is always perfect, even when it feels painfully slow. Once you understand the beauty of karma's patience, you stop worrying about fairness and start trusting the process, that justice is already on its way. There's a whole world inside the moments no one sees, the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices you make when everyone else is asleep, distracted or comfortable. People applaud the final results, but karma observes the process. It sees the grind, the choices, the effort you give when there's no praise attached. And that's why the work you do in the dark holds more power than anything you do in the spotlight. Because in the dark there's no performance, only truth. And karma pays you according to that truth, not the image you present to the world. Most people want success that looks good, not success that's built strong. They want the picture, not the preparation. They want the applause, not the effort. But karma isn't impressed by appearances. It's moved by consistency. The habits you repeat every single day, even the boring ones, shape your future more than any dramatic, once-in-a-while push ever could. You may feel invisible while you're doing the work. You may feel overlooked. But every time you choose discipline over comfort, growth over excuses, purpose over distraction, karma is taking notes. It knows the difference between someone who wants to look successful and someone who's becoming successful. There's a certain kind of pressure that builds you in private, the kind no one knows you're carrying. The pressure of expectations, the pressure of past failures, the pressure of wanting more and not knowing exactly how to get there. But instead of running from it, you face it, you work through it. And in that struggle, you grow in ways that public challenges could never teach you. Karma acknowledges that growth. It rewards not only your achievements, but the strength you built while fighting battles no one will ever know about. That hidden resilience becomes the foundation for everything that comes later. And then there's integrity, the most underrated form of private work. Doing the right thing when no one would know if you didn't. Keeping your word when it's inconvenient. Staying honest when lying would be easier. Karma honors integrity more than talent, more than charm, more than ambition. Because your character is the one thing that determines whether you can hold the blessings you're asking for. People think they're waiting on the universe, but often the universe is waiting on their character to match their dreams. The world sometimes rewards shortcuts, but karma never does. You can cheat your way into a position, but you can't cheat your way into peace. You can manipulate your way into opportunities, but you can't manipulate stability. Anything gained without integrity crumbles under the weight of its own dishonesty. But when you build your life with effort, patience, and truth, it becomes unshakable. Karma ensures that work done with purity lasts longer than anything built on illusion. So when your breakthrough finally arrives, it doesn't come as a surprise. It comes as evidence. Evidence of every quiet sacrifice, every lonely night, every disciplined choice you made when quitting seemed easier. Karma sees your private work long before the world does, and it uses that work to shape a future you're not just wishing for, but one you're truly ready to hold. There comes a moment in life when you realize no one is coming to hand you the future you dream about. No one is going to walk up and give you the job, the peace, the confidence, the healing, or the success you imagine late at night. Karma aligns with action, not wishful thinking. It doesn't move because you hope, it moves because you decide. The universe pays attention to the energy you put behind your desires, not the fantasy you hold in your mind. And the truth is, the life you desire already exists. The path is already carved. The opportunity is already formed. But karma will not place that life into the hands of someone who is living beneath their potential. It waits for you to rise. It waits for you to choose differently. It waits for you to step boldly into the identity that matches the future you're asking for. The moment you do, everything shifts. Everything aligns. Because karma gives you not the life you wish for, but the life you are finally willing to claim with your whole chest, your whole spirit, and your whole courage. You reach a stage in your journey where you realize karma isn't just responding to your actions, it's responding to your self-belief. The way you speak about yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you allow others to treat you, karma listens to all of it. Your self-worth becomes a signal to the universe, telling it what you're willing to tolerate and what you believe you deserve. When you doubt yourself, you unconsciously invite situations that reflect that doubt. When you undervalue yourself, life mirrors that undervaluing back to you through relationships, opportunities, and experiences that fall short of your true potential. The energy you put toward yourself becomes the blueprint karma uses to shape your reality. There's a difference between